Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. There are links in the description below. Hope you're all remembering to continue to take care of yourself as well. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Another colorfully interesting cryptocurrency news day. We're in a very weird market. I know you know, and I know that you know. This market's very, very fascinating. We have dealt with tribalness. I don't know what that word's supposed to be. Tribality in the cryptocurrency space, where people keep assuming that one thing always has to just be one thing and they can't be any other slight variation to it. As of late, I'm sure you've noticed in some capacity, altcoins have begun to rapidly rise in popularity. And it's also like a near specific amount of altcoins. You've seen a lot more news everywhere about XRP. There's been a lot more news recently about Litecoin. Cardano's kind of up there every now and again, Solana, what have you, so on and so forth. For whatever the reason might be, any time historically that any altcoin has received any extra kind of attention, it seems to bother Bitcoin maximalists, many of whom believe that Bitcoin is and should be the only coin on the market. And they also believe in the future it will also be the only coin in the market. I have a different idea about that, but who knows what the future holds. I think the question of the day then is, if you were given 10 million US dollars right now, and the only thing you could do was invest it in crypto, where would you invest that money? Like what coins would you buy and why? This question was recently proposed, and it caused a bit of a stir because the person asking the question didn't receive the answer that they wanted to receive. And I think this is where most of the market currently is mentally in a lot of different ways. This was very popular news. A recent poll on Twitter regarding cryptocurrency investment preferences has sparked debate within the crypto community. The poll, originally posted by someone called Gary Cardone, presented a hypothetical scenario in which a person worth $10 million, I don't know, and it gets even crazier. Listen, it gets even crazier because they proposed like such an out of this world scenario that it was like, are you okay? Like, what made you think of that very specific thing? In which a person worth $10 million would enter suspended hibernation or animation. You've seen in all the dystopian futuristic movies, like someone has to go into the pod, it fills up with goo, and you're like just stuck there for the next like 20 years. He said, someone worth $10 million enters suspended hibernation until the year 2033. Why not 2035? We'll never know. That person has to allocate all their wealth, all $10 million, into a single asset. You are given the choice of XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, or the US dollar. XRP quickly emerged as the dominant choice as voting progressed, securing 67% of the votes, while Bitcoin trailed at 30%. However, the poll was allegedly deleted before it could conclude, leading to speculation about potential bias against XRP's popularity. I don't know why people don't assume that XRP, it's not even a popularity contest. XRP and I say slash Ripple are probably the only entities that has just about done everything that they said that they were going to do. You can argue with me until the cows come home. I've been in this market. I've had this channel for almost a decade at this point. Ripple has consistently done everything that they said that they were going to do. Their partnerships, nothing was blown out of proportion, and we heard about everything and were able to verify everything. The same cannot be said for Cardano, for Tron, for Solana. You go down the board, down the road, and it's always the same. People who love Bitcoin really despise XRP, and I can't figure out why. If XRP was an inflationary coin and they lied about it, I'd be like, okay, cool. But it's not. XRP's deflationary. If XRP didn't have a coin burn and they lied about it, I would go, okay, cool. But it does have a coin burn and there's less XRP every single transaction. If Ripple hadn't partnered with tons of banks and institutions and governments around the world, I would go, okay, but they have. Is it that there's some kind of annoyance because Ripple and XRP are doing it, that you expected them to kind of lie like every other project? Is it this idea that XRP's popularity could eclipse Bitcoin in some sort of way? Because for those of you who also don't know, XRP is also extremely popular in South Korea and in Japan, the two markets that, controlled the cryptocurrency space 2 cycles ago. And the idea is that in the future, they're going to basically grab hold of it again and cause prices to pump. But for some reason, this is not the first time that this has happened. There are tons of people online who make polls and they ask people if, something happens, you're given money, blah, 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 blah. What crypto would you buy? And people delete these things all the time. Or they even call their followers names. I've seen it multiple times. Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Bitcoin is clearly the winner. And it's like, yeah, but you had a poll and tons of people answered and they gave you the answer that you didn't want. It's safe to assume that Bitcoin is probably going to be the number one coin on the market for a very long time. Any kind of why so much fear about XRP? It's really like, I don't know, people are very, very interesting. The deletion of the poll did not go unnoticed. Prominent crypto analyst called Jack the Rippler, that is a crazy name, shared a screenshot of the results before the poll was removed, stating Bitcoin maxi deleted the poll after XRP won again. This comment fueled speculation that the removal was intentional and reinforces the narrative that certain sectors of the crypto industry frequently downplay XRP, and I don't get why. It's another one of those things where, it's really the same thing. If someone tells you that an investment is going to do well, whether it be stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and you shy away from it and you see that it does well, the usual response is, okay, I missed out on that one. Let me get in, something equivalent so that I can also make money from it. In crypto, for some reason, if you see that a coin is doing well, people push away further from it. And they begin to call it names and stuff on Twitter, and other investments, other people in other investment spaces, you don't get upset or talk negatively about something else because you don't own it. Crypto's very childish. It's very weird. If your friend, let's say you were investing in stocks and you chose 4 stocks, got it. Your friend at the same exact time chose, this is 1997. They chose Apple, they chose Microsoft. I don't know if Amazon was public then, so let's say Amazon, and another company. Over the years, you see your friends' portfolios doing extremely well. You know what normal investors do is they do research, they find out more, and then they go, I also need to acquire that asset. They don't make polls about it or have smear campaigns about how Apple's garbage or Microsoft's not going to make it. Amazon, isn't that a rainforest? It just, crypto's so cringy sometimes. And this happens often, my friends. I've seen so many polls, I've seen so many questionnaires online and other places from people who were like explicitly Bitcoin maximalists. And the answer usually ends up being XRP. And I mean, many other times, like other altcoins will even come neck and neck with Bitcoin. I've seen some before that said Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Cardano, and the other coins collectively got way more than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin was like there, but it didn't win by a large margin. And people get so upset and they're like, no, but Bitcoin's the answer. And it's like, maybe there are other answers. And here's the actual poll for it right here from Gary Cardone. It says it's so weird. Who thinks this way? It says you are 50 years old, worth $10 million, and going into suspended hibernation for 8 years. 2033, escaping complete world chaos. You are required to make a 100% investment in one of the following, and you have a 1-hour decision to make. XRP, Solana. Is this guy like so wealthy that he doesn't understand, like how rich people get really out of touch? Do you have a friend, listen, do you have a friend who would give you under any circumstances where he would say, hey bro, you're 50 years old. You have $25 million and you got to buy hot dogs or you got to buy mustard, which you're going into animation. You got to choose. Who the hell talks like that? Escaping complete world chaos in 2033 and you need to suspend yourself when you listen, buddy. If there's complete world chaos, I repeat that one more time. And it's so crazy that you need to go into hibernation. When you wake up, that XRP, that Solana, that Bitcoin, that US dollar, they're at zero. They're not going to flourish while you're away, locked in hibernation. You need to hibernate yourself. That means everyone else is gone. Who thinks like this? This is such people in crypto are so fascinatingly different. That's the only word that is applicable right there. So this was major news. And I mean, it's mainly because Bitcoin and XRP are in it. So of course, everyone's discussing it for some, whatever the case might be. And why specifically 50? Why can't it just say you are worth 10 million? Who is this exact person? Is Gary Cardone 50? I almost said, is Gary Cardone $50? Is Gary Cardone 50 years old? Is he expecting in 2033 that he's going to go into a pod somewhere for 8 years? Why 8 years? I don't know. Why not 10 years? Why not 15 years? It's like going to a store and like you see something is like, how much is this soda? And they're like $7.43.5. And you're like, what? I don't know. Whatever. This was very popular news. And I think I'll never be able to understand why. I don't understand people in this space. It's so odd. And then getting upset when XRP wins. I don't know what to say. That's the you're 50 years old and worth $10 million and have to go into hibernation for 8 years news. Wow. I sometimes I think I'm out of touch, but man, oh man, okie dokie. Let's move on. Like, what is that? Who talks like that? That's so weird. I don't understand. It's so odd. Apparently also in major news as well in please rich people save us. In a recent development that has reignited speculation within the Bitcoin community, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen has, for the first people are crazy, for the first time in 4 years, followed another account on Twitter. Listen, remember GameStop, like, the place where you buy games? Apparently they've been trying to do some kind of like a makeover or rehashing of themselves, a new face for GameStop. The weirdest part is that they've announced many different things that they wanted to get into. Remember, GameStop was also going to get into NFTs like 2 years ago. So now there's speculation that apparently they might get into Bitcoin. I don't know why people don't have anything to do or have so much time on their hands that you can pay attention Imagine paying attention to a celebrity's Instagram or Twitter account and like noticing when they've unfollowed or followed someone. You know how much time you have to have on your hands to go, he followed a second person. So he followed a second account as if we should all care. And until now, he was only following GameStop. Wow, fantastic. So he started following the account called Bitcoin Magazine to his follower list. This comes on the heels of a much discussed photograph that surfaced 2 weeks ago showing Cohen with Michael Saylor. Remember how I always say people in crypto don't want to hear what's happening until they see it directly in front of them? Like explicitly someone standing on a box and standing up in a crowd and saying, I'm doing this. I don't know how rich Ryan Cohen is. You think Ryan Cohen doesn't have any Bitcoin? You think Ryan Cohen doesn't own land and real estate and stocks and mutual funds and probably restaurants? You know how many celebrities and rich people own restaurants and like food franchises? You think Bitcoin has somehow eluded this man after all this time? He had no idea what was going on. And now he might be interested in it. It took a photo with him and Michael Saylor for you to be like, oh my gosh. That's what I was saying. That like the news is like, rich, please save us. Because every single time that anyone with more than $10 million. Have you seen that meme where the guy's walking down the street holding his girlfriend's hand and he looks back? It's kind of like that. If they look back at Bitcoin, people are like, this is it. He's going to make us rich. Remember a couple of months ago, the guy from Dell? Yeah, I know people forgot about that one. For those of you who don't know, the guy from Dell mentioned something about Bitcoin and people lost their bananas. They thought this man alone was going to bring us to a $200,000 Bitcoin. Even crazier, when he wasn't in the news anymore, I mentioned it again and I was like, you know, he probably has Bitcoin, right? You think that when you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you don't wait for opportunity, you grab it. You see that BlackRock and State Street are buying up Bitcoin. And you think these wealthy people go, oh gosh, okay, I'll buy someone to go to $1 million. I can't do it now. The price is going down. I don't want. No, they're buying all. When we talk about 90% of Bitcoin is held by, I assume he's been buying Bitcoin for a very long time. And the fact that it took a follow of Bitcoin Magazine is the dumbest thing I think I've heard this millennium. And a photo, it took a photo for you people. I don't understand logic anymore. Sure, why not? GameStop has periodically found itself at the center of Bitcoin-related conjecture, particularly since Coco Roro's meme stock phenomenon. At the time, a theory posted on Wall Street Bets proposed that the gaming retailer, viewed by many as a relic of brick-and-mortar retail, was primed for a turnaround. Yeah, it keeps going. It actually just like it really keeps going. Like the article just keeps kind of going on forever. This article is even called GameStop Urged to Buy Bitcoin. I wonder when people will stop being infatuated and obsessed with the wealthy. When people will realize that like the point of Bitcoin and crypto is that we could do this ourselves. You keep giving all the power and influence and power and money and power to rich people, and then you realize why you have none yourself. And then you sit there at your 9 to 5 and you go, well, and then these people own all the Bitcoin, they own all the crypto, they own all the money, they own all the stocks, they own all the land, they own all the real estate. And you look back and go, maybe next time. And it's like, cool. So the latest rich person that people in crypto are infatuated with is the guy from GameStop. Who cares if GameStop buys Bitcoin? Think about it. Who cares? Who cares? There are 8 billion people on this planet who are not paying attention to crypto. If they all started buying crypto, the price would go up and we'd have a much fairer market. But you know what's not going to happen? That. So that's the GameStop news. I give it 2 or 3 weeks. I give it 2-3 weeks. Yeah, we'll either hear that they bought some or didn't. But at that point, some other rich person will sneeze walking down the street. It'll go, Bitcoin. And people will go, oh my gosh, we're about to get rich. Because once again, people are obsessed with the idea of rich people saving them, when they're literally the reason why Bitcoin was created, to get rid of and escape from the old system. Remember that? Remember 2008, 2009, how rich people keep crashing the market over and over, and then they blame it on us, and we are the ones who have to bail them out? Everyone forgot that? Yeah, I know everyone did, because that's, no one cares about other people or the actual economy or why we have Bitcoin. Everyone just wants to make money and keep worshiping rich people. That's the GameStop news. Wow, I can't wait to see what happens. What a compelling story. How absolutely fascinating for everyone else on the planet. And yeah, let's move on. Also in news, because remember I keep saying that this happens every single day. A company by the name of Resolve AI, that's Resolve with a Z for those of you who didn't hear my zzz, an AI-driven trading solutions company, has announced a bold, how bold of them, $1 billion Bitcoin treasury program, starting with an initial investment of $100 million. You all just heard my words in plain English. This is another company on another day, not counting the 387 that we've heard about in the last year and a half who are also getting into crypto, just announced that they're going to be buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. How many times do you have to hear news like this to understand that Bitcoin's going to $1 million per coin? If the prices are up or the prices are down, it doesn't really matter because these people want all of it for themselves. We keep getting news constantly that the rich are buying up all the Bitcoin. I can make as many videos as I want about it until I'm blue in the face. You know how many people listen? I want to say a good 3 to 5%. 3 to 5% of you right now actually heard what I just said. I've never heard of a Resolve AI in my life. They're buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy a couple days ago also just bought more Bitcoin. Rich people continuously buy more Bitcoin. They're buying up all these coins. Don't be fooled because it's not just BTC. Remember all the whale news about Litecoin and XRP and Cardano and Hedera and what's the other coin that we also recently just heard about? It happens all the time. We are in the midst of the world only benefiting those who have assets. Remember years ago, I proposed the question to people watching and I said, hey, we're getting Bitcoin news 79 days a week, every single hour, and it's all amazing and it all revolves around accumulation. How many of you actually hold Bitcoin? How many of you don't hold Bitcoin? And a lot of people were like, why would I own any Bitcoin? Because Tron's going to be the one that brings us into the stratosphere. It's definitely going to be Ethereum Classic. That's what I'm loading up on. And it's like, okay, cool. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but my friend, I think we are not far off by any means. When they own and control all the Bitcoin, I wonder what the general sentiment on the planet is then going to be. Because I assumed, remember the news, we've spoken about this twice already. Upon hearing that 3 companies own 88% of US stocks, I assumed this would have caused some kind of an investment revolution where people would go, we need to also make generational wealth as well and get into this. And it fell with a whimper. Upon hearing 90% of Bitcoin being owned by wealthy people, you would assume that these people would go, something's going on. I need to also accumulate as well. This company you've never heard of is going to make an initial purchase of $100 million to buy Bitcoin. I had high hopes years ago. I mean, they were literally sky high that everyday normal people would have begun to, I mean, in mass, not the 3 to 5% of you who are listening, but I assumed in mass we would see like people understanding where this all went. It's similar to the other video where I was saying, I think the problem is that people hear what's going on, but they don't know what's going on. You can hear that they're buying up all the Bitcoin, but if you don't have an actual structure in your mind for what 21 million means only, you're not going to get it. If you hear that they're buying up tons of Bitcoin all the time, you don't understand like what the halving means and that less and less will be created, you're not going to really get it. If you don't have any concept of what it means to buy a billion of anything, especially something that is scarce, you're not really going to get it. If you hear that BlackRock is in the space and with 8 other companies purchased nearly 1.5 million Bitcoin, you're used to abundance in essence of numbers, so your mind isn't going to really get it. You don't conceptualize that you could have done something or had something or made money or made a good profit because you don't put all the puzzle pieces together. You know what BlackRock is because you've seen Larry Fink on CNBC. Do you know why they're called the company that owns the world? Because they're the company that owns the world. Now, what happens when they own all the Bitcoin? People will go, I knew something was fishy. Oh boy, that BlackRock always being clever for the last 40 years. Wow, who could have seen it coming when they owned $11 trillion worth of assets? How weird. The initiative is designed to support the launch of a cryptocurrency payments platform developed in partnership with Tether. If you haven't been paying attention to what Tether's been doing, Tether is rich. Tether is like spreading their tentacles around the world. They are buying up tons of companies. And I mean, really, Tether's like it. Tether's wealthy. Tether, the largest company in the digital assets industry. The company believes that holding Bitcoin will not only strengthen its financial position against inflation and currency deflation, devaluation, but will also accelerate the adoption of digital assets in daily transactions. Cool. Resolve AI is going to be buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. We just had news recently as well from MetaPlanet, but MetaPlanet's in the news like every couple of days. They're constantly celebrating. Sorry, I'm stretching. Oh, my back. Whenever they're buying more, companies have not slowed down their purchases. On the contrary, it's actually, a lot more. We're also hearing like 2 or 3 times a week now, if you've paid attention. We're constantly hearing about like new companies that we've never heard from before. Like we'll always have this company owns 800 Bitcoin. They recently purchased 65 more, like that kind of thing. But we're hearing a lot of new ones being like, no, we're starting right now. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say, kind of. It's just more of the people who pay attention are the people who make the money. It's, it's just a very basic thing. We also had that quote from Changpeng Zhao a couple of days ago. It was something along the lines of like, if you don't hold, you won't become rich. Or, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but it's completely true. So as more people continue to lose interest in the market and leave the market and sell their coins, and rich people continue to buy more and more and more until they own all of it, what more can be said? Good luck, everyone, because a lot of people aren't paying attention. That's the Resolve AI news. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. You are 50 years old, worth $10 million, and going into suspended hibernation for 8 years, escaping complete world chaos. What the fudge? Like, what are you talking about? That sounds crazy. You could have even had something cool like, you go on a mission for 10 years. You forgot you had this coin. You take a space trip to the moon for terraforming. You come back and, what coin would you have invested in to have seen flourished? What are you talking about? I don't Woo! Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.